Good morning, everybody. I'm Josh. This is my boy Drew, and this is Blitz.
You ain't about it, we moving out. We go and get it and get it. Pull up in formers like Rodgers and Porsches, them engines is bigger and different. We talk about it, cause we about it. We with the business to business. Don't flip the script, or you get flipped. Don't you forget it, forget it. You ain't about it, we moving out. We go and get it and get it.
Morning, everybody. I am Josh. This is my buddy Drew, and this is Blitz. We're getting you. It's fantasy. It's that time of the year. The playoffs are coming quick. We're a week away from our playoffs starting, as is most of you. But before we get to that, Drew, how you doing this morning?
Hey, man, I'm doing good this morning. I woke up, took a hot shower. Really cold over here in San Diego. I know it's not cold compared to Ohio, but for us, it's cold for us over here, San Diegans. Man, I'm doing good, man. The buzz is tearing it up. Views are going to skyrocket. I couldn't believe it, man. We're blessed. Great numbers this week. RSH overtook the lead over game-winning drive, which I'm so happy for you guys. Great interview with TJ, as always. You guys are ultimate professionals. Love it, man. Had a good time. Love seeing all of our platform, all of our shows across the platform going up, man. It's huge. I can't wait for the Blitz this morning, Josh. I'm super excited. I can't wait to talk and dive in about what to expect today. And as you said, brother, we are on the cusp of playoffs, which is week 14. We're going to finish this week up. There's a lot of teams that need that win to jump into the playoffs, points, all that stuff. We're going to help you your best you can, guys. Give us your comments. Give us your questions. I can't wait to answer just like Josh can, man. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah, we were talking about the slate of games today. I think fantasy football might be the most interesting part outside of maybe 2 or 3 games because the game slate today is relatively rough. But before we get to that, I want to thank our buddies over at manscaped.com. At the bottom, you can see scrolling through the promo code, the website manscaped.com, promo code BLITZ2020, 20% off of your order and free shipping, which, take it from me, who just ordered a bunch of stuff on Black Friday. Shipping is not cheap right now, especially with COVID and everything, where everything's getting lost. And I have a buddy that works at FedEx, and he's doing like 400 deliveries a day. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with shipping, so you get it free. Check out this promo from our buddies over at Manscaped. All right. All the professional stuff's out of the way, Drew. Now it's time to get down to it, man. A lot of football to get to. Your brother's here. What's up, Austin?
What up, bro?
Dude, debate on game-winning drive Wednesday about the Eagles. I was laughing so hard during that. That was a pretty passionate. I dug that, dude. Like the energy on your show. I was texting the guys like, I feel like Drew's reborn. Like the energy, the positivity, it was just flowing. Very good stuff. And I know Austin feels very serious about his Eagles right now because it's been a rough year, I'd say. But for fantasy football, injury report. Drew, what update do you have this morning?
All right, guys. So check it out. Julio Jones is active. He's playing today, which is huge for Calvin Ridley owners, including my cousin Ariel, who has Calvin Ridley across the board in all his daily lineups and DraftKings and all that. That's big because obviously Saints cornerback all-pro Marcus Lattimore will be shadowing Julio as he always has in those matchups. So Calvin's going to be wide open. A couple other things. We do know that Austin Eckler is healthy and he is playing today. There was a little limitation with him this week. He's good to go. That's huge. Myles Gaskins is returning after a 4-week stint of being out. The running backs the backfield is completely depleted in Miami. I don't know if you guys have been following or not. They lost Howard. Obviously, they let him go. I can't think of the Ahmed. Yeah, Breida's gone. Ahmed's gone. It's basically just going to be him and Lard. And obviously Gaskin's going to get 20 to 25 carries, Josh. He's the fixture in the passing game as well. So this is good news if you guys waited on Gaskins like I did. So he's starting today against Cincinnati, which is a favorable matchup. And I know you got more. What more you got, brother?
As a Patriots fan, it kind of saddens me for more good Dolphins news, but Tua's back. He's good to go. He will start today. Gaskins, and this kind of works with the Gaskin news. Tua's young quarterback. Obviously, he's going to rely on the run. So I feel like Gaskin's going to get tons of carries in this game, plus screens out of the backfield kind of thing. He's an Austin Eckler kind of back. He'll catch screens. He'll probably get 5 to 7 targets out of the backfield, if not more. I mean, I saw Eckler's numbers last week, like 11 catches for 80 yards or something. Dude's a PPR machine. So good news. The Dolphins are hot right now. They're 7-4. They need to keep the foot on the pedal in that AFC playoff chase, which is getting really loaded. Hell, my Patriots are even at 5-6, still clinging to it. I need the Bengals to kind of win. I don't see it happening, but big game for Miami as far as maintaining their seat in the AFC playoff hunt. Allen Robinson from the Bears will play today. Drew, I want to ask you, so his fantasy value to me is kind of worrisome because of how bad the quarterback play is. Is he still a must start?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. He got 2 touchdowns last week. I mean, he's tearing it up. Even with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback, he's still getting at least 10 to 15 targets a game, Josh. I know like the scoreboard is daunting, like, oh, what are they doing, this and that. It's good. You have to expect a lot of garbage time stats for Allen Robinson because the defense will point prevent. It's going to be pretty much game over, and that's when he'll start getting his targets and his points up for PPR. He's a must start in PPR the rest of the season. If you look at week 14, 15, and 16, Josh, he has the number 1 matchup for receivers. So he's up there. He's up there. You have to start Allen Robinson. And as the owner of him in our league and several other leagues that I'm in, you have to start him, dude. He is money, especially with Mitch at quarterback.
Yeah, Mitch will start today. Nick Foles is active, but he will be the backup. Denver, the game tonight against Kansas City, Phillip Lindsay is active, even though he has a pretty bad knee injury, but he's going to push through. I'd be careful with him. He's supposed to be on a snap count. And Jerry Jeudy is also going to be active tonight, the wide receiver. Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the Chiefs has the flu, not COVID-19, confirmed by a couple sources. He felt great last night, but it is going to probably be a game time decision depending on how he feels tonight. So for people that have the Sunday night game tonight, have a back sitting there, get the handcuff. Le'Veon Bell would be Bell. And maybe Damian Williams or whatever the other Williams they have would be the third down back again. So try to get one of them or Phillip Lindsay, somebody to have just in case Edwards-Helaire can't go and you guys don't get lost and just get 0 points out of your running back.
Yep.
Carlos Hyde's active for the Seahawks today. Big Ben's active, even though he's a little banged up after the game last week. I know this is your upset pick with Washington over Pittsburgh too, right?
Yes.
All right, I dig that. That'd be awesome. The Bengals placed and a couple defensive players on the COVID list. That's pretty much it. The injury-wise this morning, Lamar's back this week. That's big for you guys. That Cowboys defense, I mean, he could eat on that defense, I think. James Conner is out Tuesday. Benny Snell Jr., you got him, plug him in right away. He ran hard as hell against Baltimore this week. I really like this Snell kid.
Yeah, I'm starting him. I'm sorry. I know they got some guys back, but if you got him, it's a great plug-in for you. If you're looking for a running back that you need for the week, just because the guy's going to be healing this week, CNC owners and all those guys, Benny Snell is a perfect waiver pickup. Still available over 40% of all leagues. I pick him up right away. And I plug him in.
David Jones, what's up, David? He says, any quarterbacks active for Denver? Yes, they are all good to go, I think. So I think Drew Lock's good, ready to roll. There's our boy Benison from Stand Your Ground. Check him out Mondays at 2 Eastern, I think. They're kind of playing around with time slots right now, but check them out for everything in UK football. What else? Julian Edelman probably be back in 2 to 3 weeks. If you have him on your roster, it's fair to drop him. He won't be back till the playoffs are pretty much over for fantasy. And Drew Brees is about 2 weeks away. They're aiming toward that huge game on the December 20th, Kansas City and New Orleans. That looks like that's the date he'll be back. So that'll be pretty. I can't wait for that game.
That's a big game. It's gonna be a big game. It's gonna tell us a lot.
Super Bowl. That was who I had.
Yeah.
You did too. That's who we had preseason Super Bowl. I think that's the first out of 2 games. All right, so injuries were good, but we did have this. Will Fuller owners, you've been happy all year with the guy. He's been balling. Suspended 6 games. So, Drew, what impact does that have on Deshaun Watson and all of the Texans wide receiving core?
Listen, man, you're basically gonna have to cut a lot of your playbook when it comes to Will Fuller. He's your deep guy, your best receiver on the team. It kills your value for owners of Deshaun Watson, but it pretty much upgrades the Brandon Cooks owners because he has really no one else to throw to. You got Cooks, you got Randall Cobb, who is injured though, who is hurt. So with Cobb out, you have Cooks, and that's about it. I know you got Akins, you got Fells at tight end that you like to split a lot, but you know it's basically Cooks and Duke Johnson. So if you got Duke, who actually killed it last week, if you guys remember on Thanksgiving Day, he had a big game on the receiving end. So I mean, it helps for those owners, but it kills overall for the Watson owners. No, QT sucks. Stop, Daniel. Get off the show. And so I'm kidding, buddy. Kiki Kuti ain't doing crap, dude. I'm sorry. Brandon Cooks, the tight ends, and Duke Johnson. That's all you can look at for now for Houston.
Yeah, the tight end Atkins. I like the kid Atkins on Houston. Big guy, can catch the ball. He lit New England up. That's the first time I actually seen him play, and he's been playing well since. Fantasy-wise, I mean, don't drop everything to grab the guy, but like what your brother says, explains how Will Fuller's been healthy this year. That is kind of funny, and it is kind of a coincidence, but I'm with you.
He's right.
I think Duke Johnson benefits the most out of this. He's played well since he's been back. He's always been the guy when he was with Cleveland. Catch it out of the backfield. He's not in between. He's a smaller dude, so in between the tackles, he's kind of rough. But that's what David Johnson was brought in for, right? You have the Johnsons back there. One can catch. He's at least a flex must start if you have him. And if you're desperate for running back, he's a really good plug. Like I said, Thanksgiving, he was great. That's the best he's looked in a long time.
I agree.
Since his early
Definitely agree with you.
At least. But like Drew said, we're the buzz now. We've been on fire. Game-winning drive, 4K, RSH 4K, between the pipes, over 2K, probably 3K by now. I haven't checked in the last hour. That's how crazy things have been. But we have new social media. That's all that's changed. So check this out. If you haven't followed us, go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hell, we're on LinkedIn. We're everywhere. Everywhere you go, here we are. Here's how to go find us.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I'd go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now.
Archie and his damn songs, dude, gets me every time. That's beautiful. Everything Archie does, production-wise, is absolutely ridiculous. Dude is so good. But the fantasy questions are coming in, Drew. People are ready.
Let's do it, baby. Let's get it.
Doug, thanks for tuning in, bro. Needs a flex start, Drew. Sterling Shepard, Michael Pittman Jr., or J.K. Dobbins?
Oh, this is easy. Michael Pittman Jr.
That's
the
your
man
boy.
is getting – that is my boy. Man is getting 8 to 11 targets a game. And guess what, Josh? We just talked about him. This Houston Texans defense is one of the worst against the pass. So I think Phillip Rivers, who is dealing with a toe injury, we are going to see, a guy like this a lot this week, Josh, is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor this week, I like him a lot. He's coming off of COVID, and him and Naheem Hines is going to be splitting the load. You know, Hines is going to come in, probably get the goal line carries and get a lot of the passing plays, obviously. But if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, Jonathan Taylor was killing it. So I really expect him to have a great game against Houston. But Michael Pittman Jr., a lot of cross routes, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a Rivers loves those cross routes across the middle, Josh, and Michael Pittman has no fears going across the middle. Houston Texans defense is not going to be able to contain this Colts offense, and I really think Pittman's the safest and the easiest start for you, Douglas, and thanks for joining the show, man.
Yeah, and your brother David Johnson is back today. I still think Duke has a lot of value still. Like you said, the playbook shrinks, a lot of screens kind of thing. Brother also said Pittman Jr. David, not last week, huge bust. Pittman did have a rough week last week, but I still think he's their number one target. T.Y. got a touchdown last week, which I never thought I'd live to see the day that's breaking news. But T.Y. has definitely had a rough year.
Yeah, he has.
But buy or sell time. So buy or sell is basically for new listeners. We take a couple players every week, and we're telling you if we're buying or selling them from now through the rest of the season. Obviously, Adam Jones you'll never see on this list. Obviously, you're buying.
No.
But these are players that are borderline. Do I start them? Do I not? Let's start with a guy who's kind of broken out in a – let's be honest, Drew. Tight ends, if you don't get Kelsey or Kittle, tight end's kind of rough to find one, right? I got Gronk. And I'm still like starting Eric Ebron over him. That's how rough tight end is this year. But Robert Tonyan from Green Bay, last 3 weeks, 13 catches, 144 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 37.5 fantasy points. Are you buying or selling him to help somebody get through the playoffs?
I love it that you put him on here, Josh. I love it a lot because if you notice, I plugged him in our league at tight end because I'm out of options. I'm buying him, bro. You have to. Look at the stats right below that you just wrote down. 13 catches, 144 yards, and 3 touchdowns over the last 3 games. 37.4 fantasy points over that span. That's, I'm guessing, off the top of my head, that's 13 points a game, 12 points a game. That's huge in PPR for a tight end, especially in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers hasn't had that much success at the tight end position since 2009.
Michael
so, I mean, right? Yeah. So, I mean, Jermichael, yeah. So, I mean, this guy is playing great ball. He's in the position of being open, and he's getting open. Aaron Rodgers is building that chemistry with him. It's him or Devontae Adams. MVS has gone down a little bit with his target share now that Alan Lazard is back. So I'm looking at these two, and then obviously you have Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, who also share a lot of target the loads of the target. So, I mean, it's Robert Tonyan and Devontae Adams. I love them both. I'm definitely going with Robert Tonyan as a buy for me.
I honestly have nothing else to add. I'm buying. He's tight end is so rough, and yeah, of course you grabbed him, but I'm like, I got Gronk, I'm good. Then Gronk's like hit or miss. And here's the thing with Aaron Rodgers. What do we talk about every year? Lack of weapons. When he gets comfortable with this guy, he could break out into like a legit star tight end. Like it depends if Rodgers keeps his confidence with this kid, he could be really big. But for the rest of this year, I'm with you 100%. I am buying. Tons of questions coming in. We got another one, Drew. Jarvis Landry versus the Titans or Debo versus the Bills?
Ooh. Go ahead, brother. Oh, man, this is tough. Tennessee Titans defense, I feel like, is on the rise. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Because
Clowney's out for the year, by the way. That came across this morning.
Right.
Just of note. I can't doing anything anyway.
Well, that's my boy Cameron. Cameron, first, thanks, man, for showing up to the show. I'm going to go with Jarvis just because of what he did last week, Josh. I feel like, Jarvis gets more of this production and gets more of these targets because OBJ is gone. So I feel like Baker is going to get more time as his offense line is now back, that he gets more time to throw. I like Jarvis because it's a lot. He's always a hot read guy. He's always the guy that's going to get the ins and outs. I like Jarvis personally. I do love Debo as well, but it's hard, man. It's just really hard because I think Buffalo's defense, as you saw last week, they played really good against Herbert. They played really, really, really well. So I'm going to stay away from Debo this week, and I would start Jarvis Landry.
I'd start Jarvis as well. It's kind of crazy, the fact that my next 2 buy or sells are Jarvis and Debo. That's because we're professional podcasters around here. We get shit done. But Speaking of Jarvis, last week, 8 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. Damn near 30 points. I didn't think I'd come to the point where we're like buying or selling Jarvis, but when OBJ was there, Jarvis, he doesn't put up the numbers like he normally does. Baker kind of forces the ball in. Is Jarvis back at that point where he's a must start at wide receiver? Can you buy him for the rest of this year to kind of try to keep up some of this pace?
Oh, without a doubt, you have to buy Jarvis. Listen, he is a man that can produce for you. As a fantasy owner of his, on my dynasty league, it's been a really inconsistent year this year, but I expect him to finish the year strong. I think he will finish between wide receiver 15 and 20. It's just you got to be patient. It's Baker Mayfield. It's a lot of run. It's a lot of run. It's a lot of run because of Chubb and Hunt. But that's okay though, because they're going to be behind games a lot. They got a lot of big matches this week. I mean, the rest of the season in the playoffs, he's gonna have to go against these guys that they're gonna be down by a lot, and I expect him to do a lot of garbage time, a lot of throwing, and a lot of targets to Jarvis.
Yeah, I agree with you. We got a question right here.
We got a ton of questions.
Then we have like a debate about it. So, Willie, dude, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your info, guys. Some big help this week. Don't apologize for all the questions, buddy. That's what we're here for. All right, Drew, who's the odd man out between Mostert, Edwards-Helaire, Hunt, and Gallman? Need one out of Gallman, David Johnson, Hines. Need two out of Claypool, Akers, Snell, and Pittman. And then needs two out of Kupp, Haskins, Bernard, and Snell.
All right, so who's the odd man out between Mostert, CEH, Hunt, Gallman? Gallman's out.
Yeah,
need one out of Gallman, David Johnson, Hines. For me, between that, I'll go with David Johnson. I'm sorry. I go Nyheim Hines. I would definitely go Nyheim Hines. Need two out of Claypool, Akers, Snell, and Pittman.
I'm taking Snell. But no Connor?
Yeah. Need two out. Yeah, I'm definitely going Snell.
And Dallas. Pittsburgh playing Washington. That secondary is kind of rough. So Claypool?
Yeah. Claypool, yeah. I mean, it's between Claypool or Pittman for me, Josh. I would probably go with Pittman just because I know that he's not going to be sharing the target load. It's going to be between him and Hines compared to Claypool, where he has to share it with Johnson and Juju. So yeah. I feel more comfortable going with Pittman, Willie. Need two out of Kupp, Gaskins. Gaskins for sure. He's getting a huge target load. He's going to have a big load to carry today. I'm definitely going Gaskins. Bernard against Miami. I don't feel comfortable with that. Kupp
or Snell. That's a rough one.
I go with Kupp. I definitely would go with Kupp. I know he's been really inconsistent this year, but I really think that this week he is going to have a lot of targets. He's going to get a lot of production. I definitely will go with Kupp and Gaskins for that group. Willie, thanks for all your questions, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. What we're here for, dude. That was a lot of good stuff. Bakley, Lazard is back to block the wide receiver positions, help the offense out in Green Bay. Absolutely. They've been banged up all year. So the thing is, Gallman, I don't see anything about him being out. But
okay.
In the chat right here, I don't see that he's out. He shows active on my fantasy app as well, so I'm not really sure. But with Colt McCoy there, I'd say he has a lot of opportunity to get carries today. Landry's only knock is scoring touchdowns, but he will get targets and yards. That's fair. He's been inconsistent in touchdowns for years. Your brother says Claypool and Snell and Kupp and Gaskins.
Josh, Gallman isn't out. I'm sorry. But with that being said, I still would take him out between those four. Mostert, CEH, Hunt, and Gallman. I'm taking Gallman out.
Oh, sorry. Your brother was saying that he's not a play this week. He's not actually out. Like he would sit him out.
Got you.
All right. So Debo, he's next. 11 catches, 133 yards last week, dude. I mean, they're desperate for targets out in San Francisco. They have like over $100 million of salary cap room on the IR. Are you buying him? Because Nick Mullins apparently loves this guy because Ayuk is back today also.
Oh, yeah, I'm buying him. I'm buying him, and I'm buying Ayuk just to give you a little bit of an added bonus. Mullins has no one to throw to. No Kittle. He's gone. Jordan Reed, no, it's not happening. He had one good game all year. It's not happening again. I don't know why people are buying on him so much. I'm not doing it. It's definitely Ayuk, definitely Debo. If I had to pick between both of them, definitely picking Debo. Debo's his guy. He loves it. 11 catches, 133 yards. He thrives in these kind of games where it's all on him, and it's resulting from college to now. I like Debo a lot, Josh. I like him fit in this offense. I'll like him even more next year when Jimmy G comes back. But for now, yeah, I'm buying on Debo the rest of the season.
I'm buying as well. Ayuk doesn't really scare me. I just think that gives Debo more single coverage because as crazy as it is, it's gotten to the point where the dude's a burner. He gets a lot of attention from the secondary. So I'm buying as well. Speaking of secondaries, let's throw some defenses in here because everybody talks about players, running backs, tight ends, receivers, quarterbacks, whatever. Defenses help win championships in fantasy as well. So there's a defense that's been trending upwards over the last couple of weeks. The Carolina Panthers defense is averaging 21 points a game over the last 2 weeks. And they got Denver, who's in quarterback hell. They're on a bye this week, so they won't help you this week. But I'm talking about next week into the playoffs. They play the Broncos. Green Bay, that's obviously a rough one. Then you got Washington coming up. So you kind of, when you pick a defense for fantasy, you obviously want to pick one depending on team matchup. Most people pick up 10 different defenses per year, right? Unless you get Baltimore or Pittsburgh or something like that where you're normally good, but you do it based on matchup. Would you buy or sell the Panthers defense to keep up this momentum throughout the fantasy postseason?
Yeah, I'm buying it. I love their matchups with Denver and Washington. Green Bay scares me a little bit because that offense is so stacked with Aaron Rodgers. But other than that, I'm still buying them. They're available, like you said, they're available in most leagues. It's a great waiver wire pickup in case you need a defense for that week. Like I said, Denver and Washington are 2 weeks I'll be looking at for the add-in for them. Yeah, man, it's a great team. Chin, you saw what he did last week, back-to-back touchdowns, first time ever in the NFL history. And I like their defense, man. Dedrick Brown, the rook, Snell. It seems like they can't miss on defense. It's just offense is the issue for them because obviously Bridgewater's not the answer there. But yeah, man, I'm buying them. I'm definitely buying them.
It's almost like when they this year in the draft, they took a defensive player in every single round. It's almost like, good job. It worked, and it's working. Now they're young, and when you build through the draft, they're cheaper. So then you can use your money to build around and get more weapons for Bridgewater or a better line. I agree with you. I think they need a better quarterback, but whatever. Your boy, he's on here because he's coming off an injury that kept him out the whole year. And listen, I'm looking at his stats right now, and I'm looking at his matchup today. I'm a Pats fan. This dude's going to eat us alive. Start him in everything you do today for sure. He's going to eat us alive. We cannot guard running backs that have the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Even though we know that's what you're going to do, we're still not going to be able to defend it. But I put this here because he's coming off kind of a serious injury. He's missed almost all the season. Can you trust his durability for the rest of this year?
Without a doubt. And I know I'm a Charger fan, but I have to. I mean, he's never shown any injury history before until this year. And his durability, he's been durable till obviously he got hurt. We'll see what happens. I have no past evidence to rely on where it's either yes or no. So with that being said, I think Austin Eckler is going to be huge today because, like my brother just wrote, I think Keenan Allen's going to struggle against one of the best corners or the best corner across the NFL, which is Gilmore. So I expect Hunter Henry and Austin Eckler and Mike Will to eat. I know Jackson. I think Jordy Jackson is going to be covering Mike Will, so it might be Hunter Henry and Austin Eckler type of day. But either way, I expect this game to be huge for offensively. I think Cam's going to eat, and I think Herbert obviously is going to eat. With that being said, I do have to buy Austin Eckler. Love his matchups. I love his who he faces moving forward in the playoffs. It's definitely a buy. He's a PPR machine, man. He gets a lot of targets, and we all thought. Remember, Josh, we talked about it last year with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers loves running backs. We see it with Jonathan Taylor. We see it with Nyheim Hines, and we saw it last year with him and Eckler. I believe that we're going to see. It wasn't just a Phillip Rivers thing. I think Herbert is taking the same approach and using Austin Eckler in so many different various formations that we're going to see him get a lot of targets. we're not going to see him get a lot of carries, just like last year. He didn't get a lot of carries. He's not going to be the goal line back. He's not going to get the touchdowns. That will be Kalen Balaj or Kelly. Those are the one or two guys that will get in the goal line carries. Other than that, from the 20-yard line to the red zone to the goal line, it's going to be all Austin Eckler. So I buy him. I buy him a lot.
You're my Chargers guy. When I have questions about Charger stuff, I got to take him to you because I don't. You know a hell of a lot more about them than I do. Willie said he missed one. Sterling Shepard, Michael Pittman, or Jerry Jeudy. I would do Michael Pittman.
Shepard. Yeah, Pittman. Pittman for me. I listen, Willie, don't trust any Giants until Daniel Jones comes back. The way it is. I don't trust Colt McCoy.
I forgot Colt McCoy was still in the league.
Yeah, and then Jeudy, I love Jeudy. I think next year he'll be great when Drew Lock is back. I don't know if Drew Lock playing today or not. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure
I know he's got a bad shoulder, so I can't really rely on that, just like with Kyler Murray. I can rely on Kyler Murray because he can run. Drew Lock can't. So out of that, just two right there, Willie, I got to go with Pittman. So once again, it's a Pittman day for me, I guess, pretty much. So,
like your brother Hunter Henry's going to eat today. So this game's going to be interesting, especially fantasy wise. Cam obviously running the ball. I think you're going to see a lot of that. Damian Harris. But Kyle Duggar, one-on-one versus Hunter Henry. How much does Bill Belichick trust second-round pick Kyle Duggar? Well, he played man-to-man with Travis Kelce in the Chiefs game, who's arguably, to me, is the second-best tight end after George Kittle, but obviously one of the best receivers, tight ends in the whole league. So he's going to be on man-to-man. So Hunter Henry, if he's going to eat, that's that matchup. And earlier when you said the best cornerback in the NFL was guarding Keenan Allen, I think you were talking about J.C. Jackson, but I'll let that one slide.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
All good. You know, they have too many good corners over there, even though we still go up 350 yards a game passing. Start them, sit them. Go through these games. Drew, we talked earlier. The slate of games today is kind of depressing, especially at 1 o'clock. I think the only game must-see is the one we'll go into first. Talk about playoff implications right here, man. 2 8-3 teams. Cleveland's obviously in the wild card because Pittsburgh's still 11-0. Tennessee's coming off a huge win against the Colts. So who would you start if you were if you have any Browns or Titans players?
Yeah, man, I'm starting Chubb, I'm starting Hunt, I'm starting Jarvis Landry, and that's it for me for the Cleveland side. Tennessee, I'm definitely starting AJ Brown. I mean, these guys are must starts. AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, obviously, those are the obvious ones. One that I'm really struggling on. But I ended up going to go with him is just lost his name. What's his name? Oh, God. Receiver for the Titans.
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. Thank you. Sorry, brother. Corey Davis. I'm starting Corey Davis. I'm loving his targets. I'm loving what he's getting out of production. He scored 11 points last week in a PPR format with in a league I was in, getting about 8 to 10 in that range. I like that a lot, especially AJ Brown facing the opposite side on the same side. But I know people are talking about Anthony Fisker as well. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of him yet. Oh, okay, there's my brother. He wrote it. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot yet. I know he's a streaming option. He's probably number one. But those are the guys I'm looking at. I'm not starting Baker, and I'm not starting Ryan Tannehill. I'm not starting those either one of them.
Kerryon Johnson's fantasy value just jumped. DeAndre Swift is out today for Detroit. It just came across the wire. So
Adrian Peterson.
Yep, Adrian Peterson on the goal line back. A couple touchdowns on Thanksgiving. So I'd start both, actually. AP's got the touch. He's pretty touchdown dependent, though, and Kerryon, I think, is going to get a lot of the carries if he can hold on to the damn ball. I would sit Austin Hooper. I would sit any other receiver named Jarvis Landry. I personally wouldn't risk Corey Davis in this matchup. Okay. For me, 1 week he's got 15. Our boy Chuck, he's starting him today. I mean, his is more by, he has to because Ayuk's coming back and he's not really feeling him coming off an injury. But that's really it. I expect this to be I think this is the best game of the day. For me, this is the best game of
oh, yeah. Game. Oh, without a doubt. There's a lot of implications in this game. A lot. Cleveland's fighting for that wild card spot just like Tennessee because Tennessee's only a game up on Indy. So, I mean, this is a big game.
and they split the series. So, I mean,
Yes,
it's
sir.
wide open. I like this one. There's so many similarities between these two because
Holy crap.
Lazard's been in and out of the lineup, right? He's been hurt. Gasaki breaks out for a few games. You think, man, he's finally, we think this guy has great potential. Then he goes 0 for the next 6 weeks. So would you start Lazard versus Philly or Gasaki versus the Bengals?
Oh my God, this is tough.
Bakley and your
Listen.
brother on Gasaki.
Yeah, they're both Eagles fans. What do you expect? Lazard against Philadelphia. We just don't know what we're getting with him. He still looks like he's a little hurt from that core surgery. Doesn't look like he's fully rehabbed. And Aaron Rodgers, man, it could easily go to just a running game, Josh. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams all day long. That's why I like this Green Bay offense so much. It's so well balanced. It's crazy. With that being said, I would go Gesicki just because I don't know what to expect with Lazard with Philadelphia. There's so many different mouths to feed in Green Bay. With Miami and with Fitzpatrick, if he is starting, I don't know if is he starting? Is that official? I saw Tua saying Tua's active. So I don't know.
Hold on, let me pull it back up because according to NFL.com, about 42 minutes ago, Tua will be back behind center. He is going to be the starter today, assuming all is well in warmups, and that's Rappaport.
So when Tua was starting for Miami, Gesicki's fantasy dropped like no other because I had him. So with that being said, knowing that Tua is playing, I'm going Alan Lazard, Cameron, against Philadelphia. That defense is trash. It's not good, and Lazard can't get the opportunities of getting that production. He'll get about 5 to 8 targets, Josh, and it's either hit or miss. It's just a hit or miss. You got to just clench your butthole and cross your fingers and pray to God that he gets at least a couple targets, and hopefully he cashes in. So I'm going Alan Lazard.
It makes me sick because I feel like Gasaki, if New England were to be able to get a hold of him somehow, that he would just flourish in our offense, man. Like, it reminds me of like the Wes Welker seamless fit, but the Dolphins would never trade him to us. I mean, they did give us Welker back in the day, but whatever. The Buzz wants to know, what do you do against a team that's only starting to kick?
I got you. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, man, it's not really professional.
Yeah.
So we'll move on.
Yeah, mentally unstable decisions like that at times. This is a trap game for me, dude. My little sister, Yvonne from RSH, diehard Saints fan. I told her this is one to worry about. This is a game you need to win in the NFC to keep that number 1 seed. But as far as fantasy-wise goes, who you buying, who you selling? How do you feel about Taysom Hill going into this matchup?
I feel good, man. I really do feel good. I think it's going to be the same old thing. Run, and then throw a little cup of passing in there. Michael Thomas had a big game last week. It wasn't huge for Michael Thomas, but it was good. It was over double points, which is his first time doing that since coming back from his injury. I like this matchup a lot. I think Taysom Hill is just being smart, being very being a game manager. He's just the ultimate gadget weapon at quarterback. So I really roll with it. If anything, this hurts Kamara. Kamara's value has dropped a lot since Taysom Hill has become quarterback. So I know, including myself, as Kamara owners, I can't wait for Drew Brees to come back because it's going to go back to the target share, and him running the ball constantly. But other than that, man, for me, Michael Thomas, Michael Thomas, Taysom Hill, and Alvin Kamara are must starts, obviously. Sit Jared Cook. Jared Cook has no value. Sit Emmanuel Sanders. He has no value. For Atlanta,
think of
Julio.
Murray.
Yeah.
Murray balled out last week.
Yeah. Latavius Murray can also be an option for you guys. I don't feel comfortable with it. I never do, but if you have a desperate need at plugging in a running back, Latavius Murray is a nice option to have. For Atlanta, I'm not starting Matt Ryan. I'm off the train wreck with him. He's been terrible. I know last week he did okay, but it's just no consistency at all, Josh. No consistency at all for Matt Ryan. So if I'm looking across the board for Atlanta, I'm looking at Calvin Ridley, and that's it for me. I'm not starting anybody else. I'm not starting Hayden Hurst. I know Julio Jones is coming off a bad. We don't know, man. It's so hard. His hammy has been bothering him all year, and he misses the game. Like, he'll start, and then after a quarter, he's gone. So how can you trust Julio? It's hard to trust him, and he's going against one of the best corners. Once again, he's going against Marcus Lattimore. So with that being said, and then I'm going with Calvin Ridley, and that's it for me.
Yeah, I like David Jones. New Orleans defense. New Orleans. I mean, they just beat the brakes off Atlanta like 2 weeks ago. They're doing this whole 2 out of 3 thing. So, and they beat the brakes off Denver. I mean, granted, it was their like 8th string receiver turned quarterback, but still the defense. In fantasy, it doesn't matter how you get there. It just matters what happens. I'm good with everything. I think you're higher on Taysom Hill than me, but I think mine's more like as an actual quarterback. But as far as fantasy goes, the dude runs. He's going to get rushing touchdowns, rushing yards. When the play breaks down, he's lethal. That's where he's lethal. Now he has the ability to pass or run. The guys come in. He has nice little Michael Thomas. Obviously, must start. Jared Cook. I mean, he has weapons everywhere. Kamara has really dropped, though, which is crazy considering he was honestly probably the MVP of fantasy this year because he's been lighting it up all year long. With Christian being out, he's out today again. I mean, most of the year, Kamara has kind of been that back this year. So it's sad around playoff time, he kind of disappears. Speaking of teams that we wish would disappear, Detroit and the Bears for fantasy reasons. I think David Montgomery he had a really good game last week. I'm confident plugging him in today. I'm starting him today over Jonathan Taylor. I like Allen Robinson. I don't like much else, dude. I don't like Mitch. I don't like the Bears. The Bears defense today. Everybody's like, it's Detroit, but Stafford, he could go 190 and 3 interceptions. He could go 400 and 4 touchdowns. That's the life of Matthew Stafford. So I'm not touching that defense either. I like Galladay, like Marvin Jones. Hawkinson is playing well. Finally.
Galladay's out.
Is Galladay still out? All right. Marvin Jones is now a great – okay, Galladay's done. Archie, Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones is your guy. Archie has Galladay, Marvin Jones, and Danny Amendola. I think he has the whole roster of the Lions. Marvin Jones would be your guy. Swift's out, so Kerryon Johnson and Adrian Peterson. And I like Matthew Stafford. Actually, if you're in a bind, I'd start him. I don't trust this Bears team. I think they've given up on their coach.
Yeah, I'm completely opposite of you. No, delaying. Yeah, so for me personally, brother, it's nothing for Detroit. I'm not starting Detroit at all with anything. And I'm going to go with Allen Robinson and David Montgomery. That's it for me.
I don't see your brother. He says he thought Lattimore was out. I don't see him being listed as out anywhere. But if he's obviously out, then that changes everything. If Lattimore's out, then Julio's probably going to be just fine because Janoris Jenkins isn't covering anything. When the Giants
Janoris Jenkins is out.
Oh, so that's probably good for New Orleans because I was going to say when the Giants give you $10 million to go away, that shows how much you're valued. Cameron, Bernard or Hines for running back 2 slot in a non-PPR league. I know Hines gets a lot of receiving yards, but your guys' thoughts. Man.
Bernard or Hines. Yeah, I'm going to go with Hines still, brother. I can't go with Bernard against Miami. That defense is too strong. I just don't like it at all. I'm going with Hines.
Dude, there's old boy Gary from the main line. Fantastic show last night with our boy Tyler Peters, covering everything, not WWE and wrestling. We cover all aspects of wrestling here at The Buzz. He has Cam Newton or Matthew Stafford, Drew.
I'm going Cam, man. I got to go with Cam against the Chargers.
It's the running. It's literally the running. So
Stafford is so inconsistent, Josh.
He is. 1 week, he looks like a franchise guy. The next week, he looks like he should be on the practice squad. It's absolutely insane. And I really like Stafford. I hope in the offseason he honestly gets shopped and maybe he can go somewhere with a better environment where he could actually win. You know, I'm a homer 2,000%.
Chicago.
They're not going to trade him in the division.
They won't, but I would love for him to go to Chicago.
Listen, I'd love for New England to be like, here, you want a second-round pick? We'll take him the next 3 years. He can bridge. I'd rather have him than Cam. But anyway, Cincinnati and Miami. I'll tell you, Drew, around Ohio, this Zach Taylor thing's gaining steam, and it's really annoying.
No.
Dude, it's in our newspapers. It's like Bengals fans are getting as worse as Cowboys fans. But here are your starts for this one, because this game, in the realm of things, Miami's probably going to beat the brakes off the Bengals today. But in fantasy, there's a lot of interesting players in this one.
Yeah, man. For me, it's Higgins and no one else on Cincinnati side. Tyler Boyd has lost his value because Burrow's not playing quarterback anymore. So it sucks. It's terrible because I'm a Boyd owner. For Miami, it's Gaskins, Parker, and not Gesicki. Oh, you know what? I forgot Tua starting. Gaskins for me. That's it.
I like T. Higgins. Him and Burrow were going to be something really special, I think, when Burrow gets back. They were on their way. I did find this interesting. The legislatures in Detroit are trying to get the D coordinator from San Francisco to be the next head coach. I still think it'll eventually be Harbaugh in either Detroit or Chicago, but we'll see. Maybe I'm hoping because I'm sick of losing as a Michigan fan. I like T. Higgins a lot. I have him on my team. He's not starting because I'm starting Michael Thomas over him. I had the good luck this year with wide receiver depth. Miami, dude, I like Gaskins a lot. He's going to get a lot of catches out the backfield. I think Gesicki, I'm iffy on him, but tight end's a rough spot. If you have to play him, plug him in. But he could get you 20 points. He could get you 2. I agree with Alston. Myles Gaskins, huge fan of the guy. As a Patriots fan, he scares the hell out of me every time we play him. He's the ability to catch, break tackles, make people miss. Very good young player. But other than that, dude, not a lot to be desired. I would stay away from Tua. I would obviously stay away from Brandon Allen. And the Miami Dolphins defense, I think, is a must start in this. Actually, I think that's who I have starting this week. Jacksonville and Minnesota. Tanking for Trevor is still in full effect for Jacksonville, but the only thing standing in between them is the crappy New York Jets because they're still winless. So Dalvin Cook must start. Thielen must start. Justin Jefferson must start. Drew, how do you feel about Kyle Rudolph? I can't hear you. I think Kyle Rudolph's a sneaky play here against Jacksonville. They don't defend the tight end very well. They don't do much very well in Jacksonville. That's why they've won one game. They're tanking for Trevor, even though they'll probably end up settling for Justin Fields. But there's nothing on Jacksonville. Maybe Shark might be who I start, and James Robinson, the running back. But other than that, there's not a lot fantasy-wise for Jacksonville in this game. It's not a good game today. It's going to be a boring one, but for fantasy purposes, Dalvin Cook and James Robinson's your guys here. I still can't hear you for some reason. All right, we'll jump to a question while Drew gets that going.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now.
All right, cool.
You're good.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you, James Robinson. I agree with you, all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm 1,000% with you. Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson are all going to eat. So, it's going to be crazy.
You think this is a blowout in Minnesota's favor? Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. Yep. Have Tom Brady on a bye. Who's the better option at quarterback? Drew Lock, Nick Mullins, or Mike Glennon? Man. Who's San Francisco playing today? Real quick. That's rough, Doug. Man. So Denver plays Kansas City. So Locke has the ability. I'd actually go Locke here because Kansas City is going to put up points, and they're going to be playing from behind. So Drew Locke's going to be throwing the ball all over the field. I'd go Drew Lock. I don't trust Mike Glennon. I know he played really well last week, and Nick Mullins is very inconsistent. So I would go Drew Lock just based on the fact that they're going to be playing from behind from the get-go probably. They don't have much of a running game anyway, and I think he's going to be throwing the rock all over the field. But I would go San Francisco's playing Buffalo. I'd definitely start Drew Lock. I don't like Nick Mullins against the Bills. That defense, like Drew said earlier, has been playing a lot better. Yeah, it's Monday Night Football at home, but, I mean, this sort of lack of crowd. Playing at home doesn't really mean as much. If you had a fired-up crowd, I'd say San Francisco would be the upset pick. I'm going Drew Lock. Speaking of Buffalo, I saw a comment earlier. Our boy Benison So Benison pulled off the trade. You guys in the comments, let me know what you think. Benison traded. Hey, Drew, remember when Benison traded Josh Allen? He traded Zeke for Josh Allen, and we made fun of him for like the whole year.
Yeah.
And how's it crazy that he actually won that trade? Because he's asking us what's our thoughts on Josh Allen for the rest of this year. And I'm probably the biggest critic of him around here. And I'm buying on Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm buying on Josh Allen as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm buying Josh Allen as well. I also got to buy on the trade. It was a great trade.
Yeah, I would have thought Ezekiel Elliott would not, for Josh Allen straight up, would actually work out in Josh Allen's favor. It absolutely blows my mind. Next game, Indianapolis at Houston. So this kind of segues back to what we were talking about earlier with Houston's wide receivers. So taking from what Drew said earlier, I think Brandon Cooks is a good start. I think Duke Johnson's a good start. I think David Johnson can be a sneaky start. The Colts defense is pretty formidable, though. But like Drew said, the playbook's dummied down. You're going to get a lot of stuff. Just across the wire right now, Julio Jones is active. Todd Gurley is active. Tua, like we said, is active. Al Robinson was questionable. He will be active. No Kenny Golladay today. No Josh Jacobs tonight for the Raiders. That's a huge loss.
Big loss.
Devontae Booker looks like he's going to take majority of the carries, which I forgot all about Devontae Booker, but I know he's been playing solid out there, but he looks like he's in line to start. That's a huge loss, Drew, tonight. That's a big game for them. Or Oakland, that's a big loss. They really need – they're so inconsistent. Not having him, I think, hurts David Carr, especially when he has to throw the ball 50 times. But who are your must-starts for the Colts this week?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry, I'm having issues over here. Must start for me is Phillip Rivers, Hines, Jonathan Taylor, and Michael Pittman Jr. Those are my must starts. For Houston, it's Watson, Duke Johnson. I think David Johnson's going to lose his job, and Brandon Cooks. Those are my must starts for Houston. I don't like Houston a lot at all this game against the number one defense in the NFL. And I think Indy's going to just run – or they're just going to kill it this day, man. I really think this is going to be a statement game for Indy.
There you go. Yeah, Austin, my bad. I thought the Raiders were playing the Chiefs. My bad. Good stuff, Austin.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What is it?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh, stop. Speaking of people that need to do drugs, Jets fans, you are playing the Raiders. I think how it's funny how I have that on here, but I'm saying like something else. But anyway, I would not start. I told Drew a couple weeks ago, he told me I was an idiot, which in hindsight, he's right. But the Jets are so bad, I wouldn't. If I had an open starting position, I'd rather not put a Jet on it. That's how bad the Jets are. I mean, Sam Darnold's back. I mean, Frank Gore is about 97 years old. I mean, if you're in a bind, Frank Gore, Perryman's been an absolute bust out there this year. Jamison Crowder's probably the only receiver of value that they have.
No way.
Who are you liking on the Jets?
Denzel Mims' production is rising every week. What do you mean?
He's Mims that rapper that sings "This Is Why I'm Hot."
No, this is his cousin. He plays a lot better. He's actually going to stay relevant after one song. This guy, Denzel Mims, is good, bro. He's good. I like him a lot. I like to come out of college. A lot of people are off on him. It's just how dysfunctional this Jets organization is, dude. It's their organization is just terrible. So with that being said, man, Denzel Mims, he's going to be I like him a lot, especially next year. If you got him in Dynasty, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. I like him a lot of targets. He's going to provide. He's going to product. He's going to show some production. And the sky's the limit for Denzel, man. The sky's the limit for Denzel Mims.
All right, real quick. Salvon Ahmad is inactive for the Dolphins. Why is that relevant? Because Myles Gaskins is going to get a full workload. Gaskins and Patrick Layard are the only two active backs today for Miami. So it's going to be Gaskin, Lard's a bigger back, and Tua went through warm-ups well. He's officially active and starting today. Yes, Austin, the Raiders will beat the Jets. But, Drew, this is a popular upset pick this week, is it not?
Yep, it is. It is. But Las Vegas, I believe this game's in Las Vegas, if I'm correct, right?
It's in New York.
Ooh, that kind of scares me a little bit. I read a stat from ESPN. When the Raiders travel east, they're way below 500 underneath John Gruden's tenure, his second tenure. So with that being said, I'm a little scared. Derek Carr played absolutely dog crap last week. -6 points across the PPR formats. I don't know what happened last week, to be honest with you. Also, Darren Waller. I don't know why Darren Waller doesn't get 15 to 20 targets a game. It makes no sense. There's no consistency there between him and Carr this year as it was last year. But Darren Waller is still number 3 in his position at tight end. He's still a premier tight end, so I expect him to eat today. He better eat, and he better get his side of cupcakes because he owes me a lot, damn it. So I need to win today with Waller. That's why I'm pretty throwing it out there in case he ever hears this in 10 to 15 years. I really hope that he kills it today. But with that being said, this is a catch game. It's a catch game. I'm scared of this game. I don't like it. Don't like it.
But the Jaguars have a vested interest in this one. I bet you they're pulling for a Jets win against anybody.
Without a doubt.
Division leaders, right? The New York Giants and Colt McCoy. It's 2013 all over again against the Seattle Seahawks in a battle of first place teams, which is absolutely bizarre. I think here's the thing. You look at this matchup, as most people will, and be like, yeah, Seattle's going to go insane on this team. The Giants have a really good defense.
Yeah,
Man, this is a sneaky thing. Russell Wilson has not been balling out like he was when we were talking about easy MVP. He was the front runner there for a while for me and Drew both. He's cooled down. DK Metcalf is an absolute physical freak. He is literally jumping it. He's in that top 10 receivers for me in general, fantasy, real life, whatever. He's a must start. The running back situation there scares the hell out of me. I would avoid all of their running backs if possible. I know Carson's back, but hell, he's the guy that he'll take 2 carries, get a bum hamstring, and then he's gone. The Giants, Drew, you tell me they got Colt McCoy. How does that impact the rest of that offense? Is there anybody left that you still trust to still start this week?
Hell no. God, no. Maybe Ingram, maybe, because he's got to throw to someone. But we saw it last week, man. Dude, I am struggling today. What is that dude's name? The receiver for the Giants, 86. Slayton. Goose egg, Josh. Goose egg. Colt McCoy. Trash. Trash, dude.
It's not even no disrespect to Colt McCoy. I forgot he was on a roster. I thought he was just chilling in free agency, which no disrespect. He played in the NFL. He's accomplished more than I have and probably won't ever, but I forgot the guy was around. But not much for me, dude. This is a sneaky game. I think their defense can keep them in it. But Seattle winning this game. But
yeah, man, Seattle's winning this game, and I want to say something real quick. I'm really disappointed in Russ. Russ was on fire, killing it, destroying the game, and then I just don't know what happened these last, before last week. It's just been terrible, really terrible, and I wanted him to win MVP so bad this year because he's one of my favorite players to watch, but it's really disappointing to see his production fall so quick. But going to the game, I'm not looking at DK, bro. I'm looking at Tyler Lockett. I think Lockett's going to have a big game out of the slot. And also, I wonder if we're going to see an appearance of Josh Gordon, who just got reinstated with the Seattle Seahawks. I want to know I don't think he's going to overtake David Moore as a number 3, but he'll be the perfect guy to come in for third downs and goal line situations. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Seattle does. It's a great piece to have, I'll tell you that much, heading into the playoffs for Seattle and the rest of the season, who have the easiest schedule.
Yep,
So I mean, it's gonna be really interesting coming down to the end of the season, seeing who's gonna get that number one vaunted seed, because number one seed, you get that bye, and Seattle could definitely benefit from that bye. So it's gonna be really interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, your brother says Metcalf's going to eat, and he said he thought Colt McCoy worked at Starbucks. Well, yes, Austin did not go to Ohio State. He actually got a good job at Starbucks instead of Wendy's or McDonald's like J.T. Barrett and Troy Smith. I think this is a good game at 4 o'clock. I'll be watching our teams play, which we'll get to here in a minute. Rams and Cardinals, interdivision game, big for playoffs.
Really good game.
I think that division will get 3 teams in. I think Seattle, Arizona, and the Rams all get into the playoffs. I think that might be the best division in football. That's just my personal opinion. Arizona, the matchup that scares me as a Cooper Kupp owner is him versus Patrick Peterson. Because, Drew, if I were to tell you that the corner that has been the best against DK Metcalf this year was Patrick Peterson, where he covered him for 2 games and he had 3 catches, how surprising is that for you? Because he lit up Stephon Gilmore. He's lit up everybody he's went up against.
No, Ramsey.
That's your brother. D-Hop versus Ramsey's that matchup. That's what I'm saying. Patrick Peterson, I think, is going to shut down Cooper Kupp today. I'm very hesitant on Cooper Kupp today. I don't like it. I like Robert Woods more. I think they pay attention. Robert Woods is I think Robert Woods is a safer play. That's just me. But I don't know, dude, who you got in this one? There's a lot of big names in here. I'm a Kyler Murray. How do you feel about Kyler Murray in this game? I'm a Kyler Murray D-Hop owner.
Don't feel good about it at all. Also, don't feel good about D-Hop. If anybody I'm looking at Arizona side, it's going to be Christian Kirk.
What about your boy, Arnold?
No, stop. And so with that being said, Christian Kirk, the Rams are, I think their offense is going to eat. I'm not shy. I'm not shying away from Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods or Josh Reynolds. If you want to plug him in, I wouldn't. Tyler Higbee, I'm staying away from. The running back situation for LA Rams is such a mess. Darrell Henderson is really pissing me off. He really started playing great, and then Sean McVay came out saying he's the guy. Now he's not the guy. It's Cam Akers. So it's Cam Akers. So it's really just it's RBBC, man, and it really pisses me off. But I do like Jared Goff. I like Jared Goff this week a lot against Arizona. Other than that, man, there really is no one else I'm really looking at it on the Arizona side besides Christian Kirk a lot.
I think this is a pretty good game. I'm interested. I'll be flipping between our game and this game. What does our game mean? Drew is a diehard LA Chargers fan. I'm a diehard Patriots fan. 4:30, New England at LA Chargers. Drew's actually pulling for New England because he wants that draft position to jump up some more for his boys next year. I think this is a fantasy football owner's dream, unless you own Keenan Allen. I'm gonna be real. I think Demarius Byrd could have a really good game. Jacoby Myers, I mean, Jesus, he's came out of nowhere. He's been balling out the last month. Cam really, really likes him. Damian Harris, I think he's a good start. James White, I think is a good start. Cam, for once, I'd actually start him. I haven't been touching him here lately, but I've been telling people avoid Cam at all costs. I think his running is going to be very good here. I'll ask you this, Drew. Justin Herbert, first off, he's a baller. He's going to be a superstar. Bill Belichick facing a quarterback a rookie quarterback, though, you know what the track record is. Is Herbert still somebody you're trusting to start? Because I know you're a Herbert owner.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely trusting Justin Herbert. I like his skill set. I like what he brings to the table. I know Bill Belichick has so much success against rookie quarterbacks the first time. I know Deshaun Watson broke that mold when they played the first time in New England, where Tom Brady threw one of the most clutchest throws I've ever seen to win a game to Brandon Cooks, where he toe tapped on the side of the touchdown zone. I'll never forget that game. What an amazing game that was. I would love for that game. I would love for that kind of game to repeat itself today, because I got Herbert plugged everywhere. I trust him. Keenan Allen, I think Keenan Allen's going to still get his target share, but it's not going to be a lot of yards. So, I mean, he's still going to get some targets. But like I said, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, and Austin Eckler is what I'm looking at for this game for the Chargers side. For New England, I think James White's going to just absolutely thrash our defense. James White, we suck against running backs that can catch. So, I mean, James White is going to be my guy to look at for New England. I think Cam's going to have a good game. And that's like throw up coming out of my mouth because he's been so bad as of late. But Cam, I think Cam's going to have a good game. I also think that Harris is going to have a good game. So, I mean, I'm not really looking at the receiving side that much for you guys. If I had to pick someone, it would be Bird, because I think Bird will thrive as the number 2 and probably line him up at the slot. But other than that, man, I hope the Chargers lose. I don't know why. I don't know why I get flack for that. If you're not a realist fan and you don't understand how NFL works, you have a rookie. I want to say, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go off real quick. You have a rookie quarterback who's on a rookie deal that you have all this cap room. You're not going to win the playoffs this year, Charger fans. We're not going to make the playoffs. There's no reason to win. Anthony Lynn knows this. The ownership knows this. Tank, and then get 2 to 3 first-round picks for a team that wants either Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence coming out of the draft. That is the best case scenario for your future. This is what I want. I want more draft picks so then I can build a team around our cornerstone to the franchise before we have to give him 180 to 200 million. This is what you do. I don't understand why people don't get that logic, man. That's great. Lynn's fighting for his job. Great. Congratulations. I don't care. I want you guys to lose. You need to lose so we can get a top draft pick. It's easy as that. Easy as that.
Yeah.
Easy as that.
Think of the Patriots perspective here. So from a Patriots fan, I'm kind of in this thing like, is Cam our guy? Who the hell knows?
No, he's not. No.
Jay from the VIG will be on this week on the boardroom. He's a huge Pats fan. We're going to dig into this a little bit deeper, but I'm still on the fence. I want to see how the season ends. But from our perspective, I was kind of like you at first. It's like, let's have a bad year. You know, we lost Brady, Gronk, blah, 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 blah. Let's kind of – I hope we go 4-12 so we can get a Justin Fields or a Trace Lance or somebody like that. But now I'm at the point where I want to make the playoffs. I think the way the defense has played outside of that one terrible game against Houston, they've been playing better. And we could actually be one of those teams that you can't really count us out because of Belichick no matter what and the way the defense has been playing. And since we're kind of out of that range for the draft of quarterback, plus Belichick's, you know, he's not getting younger, so I don't think he's going to stick around for a rebuild with another quarterback. He might just retire. I don't think he's going to draft a rookie anyway. But fantasy football owners, I'm plugging a whole bunch of people in, man.
Oh, yeah.
I think this game could be like 35-32. I hope it is. I hope it's a really entertaining one. We're lacking big games this week, man. We are. Philadelphia and Green Bay. Austin, your Eagles. Bakley, your Eagles against the Green Bay Packers. Carson Wentz is must start, right, Drew?
Yeah. Nah. I don't. It's too hard, man. He's so inconsistent, dude. It's just it's so annoying, man, because he has it's like these matchups, and no, he's not. He's not. I can't talk myself into it. No, he's not a must start. No, God, no.
I like Miles Sanders. I'm avoiding Fulgham. I know you guys talked about it on a game-winning drive this week. It's sad.
Stay away.
It's sad to see how his production, like he looks like he was a budding, like could be a really good receiver. And then Jeffrey comes back, and the dude's just lost in the shuffle. So, like, his value is just absolutely depleted. I like Miles Sanders. I think one of the parts of Philly's problem is they don't run the ball enough with Sanders. And, I mean, dump passes, screens, I think he's be very good for them and take some pressure off Wentz, who has no line. And, you know, he's always getting sacked. But whatever. Green Bay's defense, I think, is a must start. I think they're going to hit Carson Wentz a lot. Zadarius Smith is questionable, though. One of their better outside linebackers has about 7.5 sacks. But I still think we got some Eagles fans in here. Taylor is calling plays now, but until the calling's more consistent, helping out Carson, I would sit him. I'm with you, Bakley. I'm not starting Carson in anything. Tell me who you're starting for Green Bay, Drew, because I know there's going to be a couple.
Yeah, man, I'm starting Tanyan. I'm starting Aaron Rodgers. I'm starting Jamal Williams. I'm starting Aaron Jones because you just don't know which one's going to get the goal line carries. They both get a lot of production. And obviously Devontae Adams. For Philly, Miles Sanders. And that's it. Sorry. I got nothing else for Philly, dude. I don't like Rieger. I don't like Carson. Fulgham will be the only guy I would look at But obviously they took that away. Alshon Jeffrey is just a waste of space. Now it's like wasting a nut on someone that you don't want a nut on. So yeah. So we're gonna move on from that one. So
Kansas City and Denver. So this is pretty basic for me. Denver, there's nobody I want to start. Maybe Drew Lock, as Doug had it earlier. I mean, would you agree that Drew Lock would be a pretty decent start today just because you would think Kansas City comes out, jumps on ahead quickly, and then they have to play from behind, so he's forced to spread you out, and he might get a lot of chunk plays and garbage time points?
yeah, I mean that's safe to say. They could play like in the third, all of fourth prevent defense, and we can get a lot of garbage time stands. That's fair. That's why I would probably start him over those other guys because he'll probably get that opportunity. But overall, in gameplay mode, I think Noah Fant is the only guy I would start on Denver, and that's like risking it as a tight end, like a tight end 3, pretty much. Like that's where you're at. Kansas City, start everybody. Kansas City.
Dave and AJ from the Working Fans podcast says if you're starting Eagles in your fantasy team, your team needs a lot of help. That's fair, especially this year. Hell, Miles Sanders has been a big disappointment. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like we said earlier, is questionable. It's going to go down to a game-time decision. So fantasy owners, please be smart. Have a running back that's playing. So you have a couple games tomorrow and one Tuesday. You got Pittsburgh, Washington, San Francisco, Buffalo, Dallas, Baltimore. Make sure you have another player that you can plug in if Edwards-Helaire cannot go. If you have Le'Veon Bell, I think that's a great fill-in. He'll get receptions out of the backfield, and he can actually carry the ball 20, 25 times. Helaire, I don't really – he's a smaller dude, so I wouldn't really – if I was Andy Reid, I wouldn't give him the ball that much, but it is what it is. But Kansas City, everybody. I'm with Drew. Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill had one of the best games I've ever seen a receiver have against Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Anybody on Kansas City you got, I'm taking. Obviously, Mahomes, Kelsey, not a lot to say. Start the people in Kansas City that you know. Denver, you're desperate. Noah Fant and Drew Lock is who me and Drew have for you. But other than that, not much to love. Washington at Pittsburgh. This is Drew's upset pick of the week. But for fantasy's sake, who on Washington do you like?
I like Terry McLaurin. I like Gibson, and I also like McKissick. I like those three a lot the most. I'm not going with Logan Thomas. I don't feel like tight ends go good against Pittsburgh's defense. I feel like they do a really good job locking down. But Bud Dupree is gone, so I mean that's going to hurt that linebacking core a lot moving forward. So he may have a good game, but I'm still going to stay away from him. I'm going to shy away and see what happens this week for the Pittsburgh defense and seeing how they're going to cover the tight ends moving forward. For Pittsburgh, obviously, I'm going with Snell now that Connor is officially out. And you got to plug one of the receivers, man. It's all of them. If you got one of them, you got to plug them in. Claypool, Johnson, Deontay Johnson, and Juju. You got to plug all of them in. Even Eric Ebron, who got 13 points. He got 13 points this past Tuesday or Wednesday against Baltimore. So, I mean, Ebron is also getting in with some targets and sharing. So, Pittsburgh offense, what is there to hate? Big Ben, I'm starting him. You have to. It's just the way it is, man. He just has a stacked offense. You have to respect it and you have to play it. So, those are my starts, man. I feel like this could be a big scoring game.
I do too. Pittsburgh, we talk about all the time, has the tendency to play down to their opponents. If they play Kansas City, you know what? I think Pittsburgh might win because I feel like Pittsburgh's going to come in and actually care. When they play these lesser opponents, a la the Cowboys or the Bengals or whoever, they tend to play down. You see them like, look, Drew, was there any reason that the Steelers should have struggled with Baltimore as much as they did?
No.
I mean, they had almost 20 players on the COVID list. They started RG3, who, God bless his soul, was playing his ass off. He got hurt halfway through the game, and he just kept going. RG3 is like one of the best character guys there is in the league. He busted his ass. They won by, 5? I mean, this game should have been an absolute blowout, and I could argue the refs were the best thing on Pittsburgh Wednesday night. But I'm with you. I have nothing really to add to that. I think that could be an upset as well. I would love to see Washington get that upset. Another one I'd love to see, Buffalo at San Francisco. So this is the actual Monday night game. So it's the 8:30 game. Washington and Pittsburgh's at 5:05 Eastern time. Obviously, I got Buffalo in this game. Fantasy-wise, I don't know, Drew. Josh Allen, I think, is a must start. I don't trust the backfield of Buffalo still, even though I know Zach Moss looks like he's going to be that guy. I'm still not trusting him because I feel like they're still going to get Singletary involved. Stephon Diggs has been an absolute savior for Josh Allen, I think. Josh Allen has a number one guy, and their chemistry is fantastic. I'd start Stephon Diggs. With John Brown being out, I like Cole Beasley as a sneaky good start. I'm avoiding tight ends there, honestly. Not a big fan of any of their tight ends out there. San Fran, Debo. I mean, Ayuk's back. I'd avoid Ayuk for a week just to see kind of how he looks like. If you're pushing for a playoff spot, Ayuk is a very risky start for me. If you have a Debo, I think he's more safe. What do you think about Mostert? Are you trusting him?
No, I'm staying away from him against Buffalo's defense. I like Buffalo's rushing defense a lot. I'm not going with Mostert at all. I'm not going with Reed. I'm going with Debo and Ayuk. I'm going with those two as my must starts for San Francisco. For the Buffalo side, I'm actually staying away from Diggs unless they line up Diggs opposite of Richard Sherman. I know Diggs is huge, but I'm more for this matchup this week. I'm more inclined to start Cole Beasley. I think Beasley's going to have a big game against San Fran. I'm with you. Dawson Knox has been a disappointment this year at tight end for Buffalo. Also, Devin Singletary is probably one of the biggest busts this year from ADP standpoint. He was drafted in third or fourth rounds in most leagues, and he has one touchdown. So, I mean, it's really embarrassing to see how a guy from last year kill it, and then this year pretty much lost everything because of Zach Moss and the coaching staff that doesn't trust him in the red zone. Josh Allen is the must start every week. I like Josh Allen a lot. I know my co-host can't stand him, but Josh Allen has been a proven commodity these past 2 years in fantasy football, and it's only going to get better as the years go by, as he matures in this offense. With that being said, those are my must starts. I like the game a lot. Yeah, David has a point. Debo vs. White is going to be scarier than Diggs vs. Sherman, but I think Diggs will be lined up away from Sherman. Probably put him in the slot, but who knows? We'll see. But other than that, yeah, Buffalo should win this game easily. Potential cash game, but I don't see it happening. I think Josh Allen knows that he needs to win, so I got Buffalo winning this game.
To keep the foot on the pedal and make sure Miami or even a New England can't sneak back in and take that division. They're only a game up on the Dolphins, and they play them again. So Josh Allen in fantasy for me, I dig it. I dig him in fantasy. I mean, as a Patriots fan, I hope Buffalo gives him 7 years, $200 million, and he's the franchise guy because that means that they're never going to win a Super Bowl for the next 7 years. But in fantasy world, love him, play him. That's the only playoff games he's going to win is you in fantasy. Dallas at Baltimore, Drew. Lamar Jackson's back. Mark Ingram's back. J.K. Dobbins is back. Let me ask you this. Dez Bryant looks like he's going to be active. He's playing against his former team. Do you think Baltimore makes a little extra effort to get Dez involved and he could possibly be a desperation play this week?
Not really. I think this is just going to be a ground and pound type of game. Destroy Dallas's front, which is weak as it is. So it's going to be a lot of Lamar Jackson running. Mark Andrews, if he plays, I don't think he's going to play or not. I don't know yet. Okay, so he's out. So yeah. So then maybe Dez has a shot. Maybe Dez has a shot to get some targets. Willie Snead, Hollywood Brown. It's gonna be that type of game. Probably be they'll probably win by 10. For Dallas, I mean, what they got Calais Campbell back. Baltimore's got Calais Campbell back. They got some pieces back. I don't trust Dallas's offense against this defense. I know this defense has been middle of the pack. If anything, I would probably, for Dallas' side, I would probably start Amari just because Dalton's throwing him so many targets. He scored a lot of points last week in fantasy, Amari Cooper did. And I don't see Zeke doing that much. I don't see Michael Gallup doing that much. And I don't see Dallas Schultz doing that much at tight end. So I'm rolling with Baltimore and those starters. It's not an intriguing game, man. It sucks. It really sucks because Dak. I would love to see Dak against this defense.
Yes.
So
Dak, Lamar, that would be
it would have been huge.
Dave and AJ, game of the week. Jets
This
versus
guy.
Raiders. Raiders on slide, last 5 versus Jets. Jets 11-game slide. Something has to give. Yeah, I think that's AJ. AJ's a Jets fan, so I'll pray for you, bro.
Yeah.
I like CeeDee Lamb for Dallas. I think he's, out of all the receivers, the one I trust the most. I mean, Zeke, God, dude, he's going to get 25 carries. Like, you know this coming in. So, like, is he going to fumble? Is he actually going to sneak in the end zone? I mean, I would still start Lamb and Zeke. Dalton, absolutely not. Cooper's hit or miss. Baltimore, I mean, I'm not high on J.K. Dobbins at all, personally, with Mark Ingram there. I just think Gus Edwards ran the ball well. I mean, they have a couple guys. I could see them using a rotation, ride the hot hand. If J.K.'s not hot, he could probably get 3 or 4 carries. If he's hot, he can get 10 to 15. Who knows? But he does have the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, so that does give him a little more he's a little more valuable because of that fact. But not much to love in this game, Drew. I think it's like a 17-13 game.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those physical, smash mouth kind of games. And I would not be surprised if Dallas pulled the upset. Baltimore's in a free fall right now. And you brought it up earlier before we went on the air. Lamar's coming off COVID. Look at what happened to Cam. Cam was balling the first 2 weeks. He beat the crap out of the Dolphins, who are now 7-3. He lit up Seattle. They scored 35 points and almost beat Seattle, who at that point was, rolling, right? So, like, there's no – Lamar was struggling before this game. He's been struggling the last month or so. That's everybody's talked about. Is he a real quarterback? He's a running back. LOL, memes, jokes, what have you. Now he's coming off COVID, which is a serious thing to come off of. Speaking of the person who's had the damn thing, I don't think Lamar comes out and it's a definite thing. He balls out, even though Dallas's defense has been bad this year. But they've been playing well the last few weeks. They've been getting better. But I don't trust Lamar, dude. On Baltimore's side, there's not a lot I like. Maybe their defense, but that's about it.
Yeah, I like Mark Andrews. That's about it for me.
Yeah,
and he's not playing. And he's out. So, I mean, it is what it is. If you got Lamar Jackson, you got to plug him in, though, because he's going to run a lot. So
yeah. I honestly think they do a couple packages where Dez gets a touchdown in this game. Granted, what's that worth?
That would be epic.
Maybe 10 points. I think you do it. If I was a coach and I had a player, he says there's no ill will. You know damn well he'd love to get if he gets one catch or one touchdown this year, this is the game he wants it to be on. Easy.
I agree, brother. I agree.
Well, like I said, we're the Buzz, different home. Same content, same live show, same personality, same of everything you guys love. It's still here. Check out our new weekly lineup presented by The Buzz.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you don't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look with the top dish. Tie game through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. Tell them that's what we ready for.
All right, same lineup, different platform. Drew, before we say goodbye, you got anything to say?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm just so thankful for the Buzz. I'm thankful for what we've accomplished. Today's officially marked as a first week since we launched the page, and our page is almost at 1,500 members of likes and followers. Guys, if you ever have a chance, man, just please go on our page, like and follow. The website is coming. It's going to be launched very soon. We got guys working hard on it. Big things are happening, man. Big things are happening for the Buzz. As Josh and I said before in the beginning of the podcast, over 4,000 views for both of our shows, Game Winning Drive and RSH. I'm so proud of RSH, and I'm so proud of Game Winning Drive to be able to spark a plug and get us these views. We're so appreciative that people are watching. That's the highest views we've ever received doing this type of platform. And so we're thankful for it. And I'm thankful for it. And I know my co-host Alex is thankful for it. And the whole family, the Buzz, we're thankful for it. So looking forward to today. Can't wait to see what happens. And can't wait for Monday night, our slate of shows. And the boardroom on Tuesday night, Game Winning Drive on Wednesday. I can't wait.
Got cool stuff coming up, man. I'm booked on the boardroom for the next month. RSH is booked for the rest of the year. Couple things, dude. Yeah, I know you got something to share, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad, bro. Tuesday night. This is going to be breaking news pretty much. Archie isn't done yet doing his thing. But Tuesday night, if you guys are a fan of The Challenge, MTV show The Challenge, one of the greatest players, arguably the greatest challenger ever to play the game, Weston Bergman, Wes, is going to be on The Buzz, presented by The Buzz, with me and Daniel Bockley, who is the host of Cage My IQ and the co-host of Stand Your Ground. Mm-hmm. We're both going to be interviewing Wes Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 my time. I hope you guys can show up because it's going to be epic.
I'll be there. I'll be right there in the comments. Very excited for you guys. We're delivering things here, man. I mean, look at our weekly shows. RSH is up to 4.7. You guys are up to 4.3. I mean, the boardroom had a very good, debut on this new platform. The main line had good stuff. Stand Your Ground. I mean, Marital Nonsense, dude. This has to be my favorite one of the week, though, because Marital Nonsense is it's personally my favorite show, but it's two of my best friends I've known for 10 plus years, right? But they had 1.3 thousand views. Like, that is a show that's hard to market because there's not a specific market you can target. For our show, football people, right? Football, tons of groups, tons of stuff. This show is one of those shows that it's genuine. It can only get over if, like, we tune in, right? There's nowhere to share it. 1,300 views. Good stuff from Ben and his wife, Danae. Between the Pipes, 3.5K. We're doing big things here, Drew. I got Jay from the VIG coming on the boardroom this week.
The VIG!
I got our Seahawks writer, Crystal Page, making her on-air debut with the Buzz on the boardroom.
Right.
We're going to talk about the Malcolm Butler interception play from a Seahawks fan perspective, and obviously I'm a Pats fan, so I cannot wait to give her a crap. So we're going – and then that Arena Rock Show, the podcast, you guys have seen me on their show a couple times. They are now officially a part of the Buzz. They're going to be bi-weekly with us starting on December 15th. We're going to do album versus album, break down each album in depth. It's a 70s, 80s rock podcast. They've asked me to join, and I've accepted. So that is going to happen every other week, every other Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, right after the boardroom. I'll be pulling double duty every other Tuesday night. And then Armchair Wrestling. God, we have a lot of announcements. Armchair Wrestling and RSH will get together for a podcast, year-end wrestling award show. So you're going to see all the personalities of RSH and all of Benison's guys. Male superstar of the year, female superstar, breakout star, match of the year, all that fun stuff. Date to be determined, but you'll be hearing about that within the next week or two. We're just trying to figure out time frames because Benison's in the UK, so like right now it's like 8 o'clock at night there. So we have to just balance out a good time that works. But that's coming as well. A lot of stuff, Drew, but the Buzz is just getting started.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Drew, have a good day, bro. Enjoy all the games. I'm going to head over to my parents, get some food, and I'm going to argue with Yvonne over the TV because I know she's going to want to watch the Saints and Falcons, but I want to watch Tennessee and Cleveland. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, definitely have a good day today. And guys, remember, if your balls need a trim, look at Manscaped right there in the bottom of the ticker.
Blitz 2020. Every show has it. Every show has a ticker. Free shipping's key, dude. I paid $32 to ship like 3 items. Trust me, I wish I had free shipping. COVID's made it worse because it's damn near impossible to get anything shipped nowadays. Blitz 2020. Check out Game Winning Drive with Drew Wednesday. Check out the boardroom with me Tuesday. Loaded weeks. stand your grounds tomorrow. Get your week kicked off. We appreciate you guys kicking off your week with us. We're the Blitz, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.